Hello and welcome to Tuning. First of all, check your alignment. Make sure your instrument is in good shape and good alignment to start with, and that you're breathing correctly. Now, what's your face doing when you're singing? It's really hard to stay in key when our face is drab or down. Make sure that there's some life going on in your face, that your eyes are sparkling and that you have some animation going on in your face. It really does help to keep your sound buoyant and in pitch. Imagine you're always singing above your molars, this space up here, rather than this space down here. So let's put our hands here in the space where your molars would be coming together, but we know that they always have some space between them. Ah, ah. Yeah, so it's going to be more in key, more on top of that note that I was singing if I'm feeling like it's around here than down here. Notes really don't go high and low. A note is just a change in frequency. So rather than thinking up and down, think about notes just being all on the same plane, maybe going away from you or side to side. And that alone can help us to avoid the trap of raising our body up to find the high notes. I call that physicalizing. And the other way going down. We just keep everything on the same plane and find the ease in singing through intervals. So let's do that now with, we'll just do from middle C. And just let those notes come out right in front of you rather than thinking about them going up and down. One more time. Good job. Now, when we go up, even though it's not really up, it's just a frequency change, we'll call them ascending notes. Make sure that you add space and release as you're singing higher so that your sound is not going to be pushed or pressed or forced. So let's do a whole octave. We'll start from there and add release and space as you go up. Let's do it on O. Oh. So think about just more space and more buoyancy as your ascending notes. Descending notes, on the other hand, can get heavy really easily if we sing them down. Gravity will just grab those notes and make them heavy. So rather than singing down, sing straight out and keep the sound buoyant and lively as you are descending. So let's go from here down and let's do it on an E. C, C. Repeated notes. When you get repeated notes in your song, sing each one just a tiny bit more up than the one before, a little bit more pitch added to it, just a tiny bit. Otherwise, gravity will pull it down. So let's say you were singing a do, a series of do's. Do, 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 do. I'm kind of thinking of each one just being a smidge higher than the one before. And that's a good tactic for staying in key. When you're coming back to the same note, also make sure that that coming back to note is just a smidge higher than the note you sang to start with. So if you were going, oh, oh, there's the original. We want that second one just to be a tiny bit higher. Oh. Approach notes from above rather than below. To do that, we want to be prepared. So we want our instrument to be, our vocal tract to be ready for that pitch, our brain to have that pitch in it before we sing, so that we're not going to scoop up to it. When we scoop up to a note, we fix it after it's come out instead of preparing the note before we actually vocalize it. So if you were to sing the word no, 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 I'm kind of thinking of it before I sing it, preparing my space. If it's a bit like having a violin and it's all set up in the right place, ready to play, and then singing it straight into that note rather than no, no. Especially important when you've got words that have consonants at the beginning that you can sing through, like love, 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 because it's easy to go love. So come in from the top, sing them cleanly. We call this clean entries. So one of the common reasons we can start to sing flat as a singer is when we're using too much tension, force, press in our sound. Notice any force or press in your sound. You will feel it. The audience will hear it. So if you feel that there's anything happening here, release some tension and let the sound vibrations come up into your head and over the top and up the back and everywhere. Except here, we don't want to feel like our voice is singing from our throat at all. Rather than trying to project your voice out, resonate your voice well, as we've talked about in the resonating lesson, and think about your sound going up through your hard palate. And that can sometimes add enough space and joy to your sound rather than pressing or pushing out. Your voice will be heard clearly and across the auditorium if you're resonating well. So go ahead and do that, and that's going to help with keeping in pitch as well.